Hey, yo, check it out. I'm at this trail and we have this bridge here and we're walking around trying to see what interesting details there are in the world. I've got this other YouTube channel that I'm trying to develop, and I've been thinking about the format, how to go about creating the content. And I thought, since I have this YouTube channel that you're currently watching, I'd just record my process of trying to figure it out, okay? That's probably more interesting to you than just showing you the result, right? Although that might be interesting as well, I don't know. But I found this bridge with this structure, right? I like structure because it has a lot of patterns, a lot of uniform details that kind of follow other details. So it kind of makes you feel like you're involved or combined, right? There's like this combination of shapes that crystallize together and create this form, right? The formation of a bridge across the water here, okay? So I might as well show you it instead of pointing it at me. But what's interesting here is like my eyesight is like level with the top of this bridge, so like I can't see out. Look, watch this. Man, what's up with that? Why does it have to be like that? Couldn't they have designed it a little better, right? It's like, oh, look at the river. That's an amazing river. Right? You gotta go like this, like, what is that? Oh yeah, it's a river. Can't really look over it. But it's constructed of these metal bars, and you have like this concrete path underneath, whatever. It's reinforced by steel rods and things like that, beams, metal beams. But the pattern's repeated over and over again, right? These diagonal lines and vertical lines and horizontal lines. It's like a grid. It's like a matrix or a lattice, I think is the word, right? It's like a mesh, okay? And it captures something, captures the energy and like pulls you through it, right? Like directs the energy, kind of withstands nature, like I've said on my previous videos, right? So I figured this was an interesting location to explore for my other video that I'm trying to develop, okay? For my other YouTube channel, okay? Look at that, that's kind of interesting. It has a nice background to it, different colors, right? Like, oh, what's up? My thumbnail? No, I don't know. Or maybe this could be my thumbnail over here, like, whoa, there's plants growing on the bridge, on the metal structure, on the matrix. Life's trying to escape, trying to break through the grid, right? The grid that tries to make you feel contained, captured in a cage, okay? Let's go off track, okay? It's too easy to stay in line on the paths as you travel through time. Made that rhyme. Okay, so now we're in the thick of the, what would you call it? Woods. It's kind of interesting. Kind of like the dynamic between something more structural and man-made and then something less defined, softer, noisier, and random with nature, okay? So, yeah. I don't know why this is flashing. Okay, so with this other YouTube channel that I have, I need content for it. It's art related. It's about like tracing the, tracing masterpieces, okay? And it's about tracing all the pieces of the master. And the master's kind of like this universal thing or whatever that exists in all the different pieces that you have in reality, right? All the pieces of matter, the energy, space, whatever whatever you can identify. It's pieces of the master, right? We're tracing masterpieces. We're following the lines, we're following the details, the contours, the shapes, the colors, everything you could define with a side, you know? Identify one thing from another, right? This contrast between light and dark, right? It's everywhere, okay? And so I'm bringing you here to like these places where it's like more structured with like the crystallized parts of the world with like metal and metal beams, metal rods, things that are like all straight or well defined, and then it's located next to things that are less defined, more curved or dynamic, flexible, that sort of thing. I thought I would show you while I'm trying to find the details, right? We're trying to look at the world and find interesting details to trace and kind of observe like further and draw them and that sort of thing, okay? So that's what we're gonna do, but to do that I need to change these sunglasses because I can't see anything. I need to put on my regular glasses and then I could see around me and see what interesting details there are and that sort of thing, okay? And hopefully the audio sounds all right because I'm using this audio recorder that's strapped to my I don't know what it is, but it kind of looks weird, doesn't it, right? Thing. Have this wind cover thing on it so that the sound doesn't get distorted, right? We can't have the signal become distorted. Otherwise, you can't understand or you get off track like I'm doing right now. I'm off track. I'm off the trail. I'm in the noise. I'm in the disturbance of nature, trying to break things down and dissolve it and recreate it. Okay, that's what we're doing. We're trying to create something, trying to create a YouTube channel, trying to create content out of nothing, basically. So I have these different ideas in my mind circling, kind of trying to crystallize around something more rigid, like a bridge or a structure that has a uniform pattern, uniform detail that you can kind of see over and over again, repeat, succession, that sort of thing, right? We gotta have success with the YouTube channel or whatever we're trying to make, whether it's art or something less artistic, like a programmed game or something like that. It has to have order, right? It has to have predictability or something like that, right? And you look at the natural world, you look at the things like the trees, there's predictability in the way that they live, in the way that it produce the next generation of trees and plants and that sort of thing, right? There's a succession there. They've developed it through time, okay? So they have their own way to withstand the disturbances of nature, trying to break it back down to nothing, okay? So let me change out these sunglasses and we can start looking further into the distance, further into the nothingness, the emptiness, the unpredictable space that you're not sure what's out there, okay? We're looking for details, okay? I could see clearly now that I have my prescription glasses on, and we can take a look around us. So you got the river over there flowing naturally, and I'm trying to look for details, interesting small minute details, because I feel like that's more something I could grasp more easily, and take it with me, take it back home, and then investigate it like with a microscope or something like that, so that we could look at the patterns on the surface of stuff, okay? So that's my thinking here, okay? So we're gonna try and explore, try and find something to collect, okay? We're collecting the pieces of the master, okay? We're tracing masterpieces, okay? Master, all the different masters in the world, all the different plants, things that control themselves in some way, have an identity, have a life to it, right? Okay, look at this tree. It has these roots embedded in the soil here. Okay, look at that. Has a, it's kind of disorderly, you know, all the different roots going in different directions. It's kind of chaotic, but it all serves to keep the tree planted in one location, right? Allows it to maintain control over its surroundings, I guess, or use the solid earth as like a foundation for its base. Basically, it's kind of fused itself into the world, basically. We have patterns of tracks, like we're tracing the footprints of little animals here. Take a look at what we have here. I don't know what type of animal it is. Maybe like a muskrat or something like that. It looks like it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toes. And you know, you could trace the details, figure out what it is. If you knew what the pattern meant, what the code was, if you could decipher it, right? That's what people do. Some people trace animal tracks. You know, if they're looking for a specific animal, you know, everything leaves a track. Everything leaves a trail that you could trace. Okay. An imprintation, imprint in the world, basically, right? Because everything has to have a side to it in order for it to be identifiable, right? It has to have a distinction between one thing and another thing. Otherwise, it just blends together and you're not sure what it is. Is it this or is it that? Okay, hey, look at this. There's like a seashell stuck inside this piece of wood here, okay? That's kind of interesting, isn't it? I don't know if you can see that. Got like ants and plants growing out of this piece of wood. Tree that's fallen over. That's kind of interesting. I don't know who put that there. Maybe I'll collect this. That's kind of a cool little thing. It's kind of cool. I don't know if there's more of them. But I'll use this for my Tracing Masterpieces channel. Maybe I'll clean this up, take the dirt off, look at the texture of it and the color, the patterns, that sort of thing, under a microscope or something like that. I'll try to do that. And then I'll like draw it. I'll become inspired by what I see, and then I'll draw it, create an art piece out of it. Okay, that's my thinking for this Tracing Masterpieces channel. That's a new format that I'm going to try. I thought I'd take you along this journey of me trying to figure out how to create it, basically, you know, show you the process, show you how my mind's working. So what I'm going to do here is I have to figure out a way to present this piece of the master to the viewers. How am I going to do that? It's a good question. I could stage it like I did before, but maybe I could just reuse something that I just recorded right now. Like, hey, look at this. Look at this. It's a shell embedded in the wood. I could use that. I could probably use that and insert it into the video, so I'm all good there. So what else? Now I need to collect this. I'll take a video of myself collecting it. And luckily I have this little tripod thing attached to my selfie stick. I could pull out the legs, make it more stable. I could also extend this thing up. I don't know how far. Let's try that. Oh yeah, that's good. That's really good. Oh yeah. I just did that really quickly. You saw how quick that was? I just allowed it to stand up. I wonder, like, the angle. How good is the angle? Maybe if I point it down a little bit. I'm not sure how stable it is. So, okay, we got this. Where was it? It was stuck over here. So I'll just be like, hey, there's a shell. I found a shell. It's attached to this tree. A piece of the master right here. We're tracing masterpieces. I gotta collect this now, and I'll take it home and look at it more closely at the details and the patterns, okay? I got a little capsule thing to put it in. I already collected something else, but I'll add to it. I'll add to my little collection. There we go. Oh man, yeah, it's all right. Thought I broke it, but I didn't. Look at that. We got a piece of the master. We captured it, encapsulated it in some plastic container, unnaturally, but in a way it's natural because it's a part of me. I don't know what I'm saying, but whatever. Let's go. Let's see what else there is. Okay, now I gotta do this, effortlessly. I gotta find a way to do it effortlessly so that I could just make more content, because it's kind of difficult to just, make stuff if you're not sure about what you're making. This is a new thing. Okay, let me put this back the way it was so that it's less extended. So now it's good now. See how easy that was? Now it's a little handheld thing. You can't see it because it's pointing over here, but whatever. Look, I'll take this off. I'll show you. I'll show you what I got here. It's this little tripod thing. It's this tripod thing right here. And it has little legs. And I attach it. I screw it into the bottom, and the legs extend as well a little bit, like maybe less than a foot, I don't know, less than a foot. So it's good. And then the selfie stick extends as well, so that's good too. I don't know how the audio's sounding, but whatever. We'll find out later. Right now we got work to do. We got to find more pieces of the master, okay? Look at that. We got this bridge. Like I was saying, look how cool it is with like the trees like bending over, and the bridge back there has like this a juxtaposition of like the horizontal line and the vertical diagonal lines kind of in front of it. Kind of creates these different shapes in the spaces that you are looking, right? So that's kind of cool. And the shadows and the sunlight creating different dynamics between the light and the dark. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Just heard something. I saw some other stuff earlier, like different flowers and things like that. So I'll probably insert those clips. I took little close-up clips with like a lens that I have. I'll show you that. I'll show you the lens that I have. I attached this little lens thing that I made myself on the camera, and makes it like a macro camera. So that's cool. And that's what I use to do like little close-ups. That's what I'm planning to do anyways. So let's keep going. You've probably grown tired of this location. I gotta keep things fresh, right? Keep things fresh. I don't know. I moved stuff around, so my audio probably was weird. Oh man, what is this? What is this thing over here? What is that? We got like moss growing on the trees. Look at that. That's kind of interesting. That is interesting. Okay, so I'll show you I'll put a lens on right now. And you can see it's kind of a complicated performance of trying to fiddle with this lens. Hopefully I don't drop it. Okay, so how am I going to do this? Oh yeah, probably looks weird now, doesn't it? Okay, it's on, I think. We're still recording. Check this out. Now you can see up close at all these little details. Look at that. Kind of cool. Interesting, isn't it? Okay. Now, based on the angle, the light might get reflected into the macro lens thing that I've created. So there's also a little bit of distortion to the lens, so it doesn't look quite right. But I don't know. It's good enough for something interesting to look at, isn't it? Right? You can see close-up details of things that you probably wouldn't be able to see without the lens on. So yeah, that's that. Let's take a look at the tracks down here. You can see the tracks more easily and that sort of thing. Okay, we got that off. Sorry, the camera's all... We gotta juggle things. I'm gonna probably have to edit this down. I don't like editing video because it's all complicated. See, I gotta like stick it in this little bag here. It's my little safe compartment for it. It's not really safe. If I drop it, it'll probably shatter or something like that. Now putting it in there to my little bag, keeping it safe. Okay, let's clean the lens. Oh, what? There's people behind me, but we're looking at all the details. All right. What else is there to explore and look at stuff? So I collected that shell thing. I don't know what it was, just like an oyster or something, clam, or I don't know what you call it. River clam. This is the Des Plaines River, is what that river is. We have like these different flowers here. Check it out. I don't know if you can see that, but it's all yellow. And there's a little caterpillar. There's a caterpillar right there. See, the lens has stuff on it. See, I should have kept the lens on, but I didn't know I was going to find this caterpillar. Flies. I don't want to, it's alright. You've probably seen a caterpillar before. Whoa, what? Watch out. These things could stab you. Branch. Too focused on the small things. I didn't see something much larger creeping in behind me. Whoa, what is that? So you find all these interesting stuff. What? Look at that thing. It's like mushrooms attached to the tree. That is pretty interesting, huh? Yeah, let's take a closer look at the pieces of the master. We're tracing masterpieces. Check out this piece. Look at the detail on that. The contrast in the colors, and the light and shadow. Right? It's just busting out of the tree. It's got depth to it. Yeah. It's got texture. Look at the texture of the bark. And I don't know what that is. Some sort of, maybe it's not a mushroom, maybe it's something else. Kind of looks like a mushroom. That's something. It looks like some spongy material. That's pretty cool. See, now I feel compelled to put on that lens again, but now it's so difficult to put on. So I need to create an introduction, like an intro to the other video. So I'm trying to figure out how to structure that, because it's a new format that I'm developing. Okay, it's a new format. How am I going to do that? It's about tracing masterpieces, so I could be like, hey, hey, we're tracing pieces of the masters. This is tracing masterpieces. We're tracing pieces of the master. We're tracing masterpieces. Nah, I don't know how that sounds. Hey, yo, we're tracing pieces of the master. This is tracing masterpieces. Hey, yo, this is tracing master. Hey, yo, this is tracing masterpieces. We're tracing pieces of the master. Check out all these pieces of this bridge. This is a masterpiece. What else can we find on this trail, off the trail, wherever the details go? We could trace it, we could track it, we could follow the lines, we could follow the shapes, we could follow how it gets defined between one side and another, right? Between the light and dark, the contrast of reality that creates sense, that texture, that feeling that we have, this life. We're tracing the pieces. This is tracing masterpieces. I don't know. Something like that. I'm bringing you along this journey of trying to develop this thing. Okay, this greater awareness of whatever is masterful, whatever is controlling all of this, controlling you, controlling me, making us move, making us feel like we're alive, or that something's happening, something's actually here, this presence, right? There's a presence right here, combining everything together to one cohesive experience, right? There's something to it. I'm trying to track it. I'm trying to trace the pieces back to that master. I'm trying to reveal the truth, okay? This is tracing masterpieces. Okay, so I don't know if I should stand this up. It's more dynamic when I'm moving around. All the details are changing, all the shapes, what you see, but sometimes it gets a little disorientating and that sort of thing, you know? Sometimes it's better just to keep it still and keep it locked and kind of slowly bring people in, slowly capture their attention. Like right here, I'm looking at this. I like the angle, but the sun's kind of at a bad angle to it. Or there's like a bird flying way up in the sky. Where'd it go? It's behind the plant. Probably can't see that because it's a wide angle. But I like this location because it has this structure like leading into the bridge. Just the lighting is the bad angle. Anyways, I think we're good. I'm gonna do like one more thing. But there's also more clips that I have to make. There's more clips that later on, you know, we have the shells, or the shell that I found. Okay. And we're gonna have to do more with it later. Look at that. That's easy. That's so simple. I really like that. Hey, yo, check it out. This is tracing masterpieces. We're tracing all the details, tracing the lines, the spaces, the patterns. This is the grid. This is the system that we're trying to break out of. You know, the matrix. All the little lines, horizontal, vertical, diagonal, interlocking into different details. We're tracing the pieces back to the master. We're revealing the truth about what's surrounding us? What's controlling all this, keeping it together as a cohesive unit, creating this experience that tries to escape, tries to understand itself? I don't know if I like that. I don't know if that looks good either with the sun. Hey, yo, check it out. We're tracing the details of the master. This is tracing masterpieces. I didn't do that right. Hey, yo, check it out. We're tracing pieces of the master. This is tracing masterpieces. We're looking at all the details in the world, tracing the lines, the shapes, the contours, the details, the contrast, all the little details that your eye could follow. We're tracing it. We're tracking it back to a master. In life, there, I don't know. Well, something's got to work. Something's just got to click. You try things over and over again, and eventually something happens. Something's like, yeah, that's good. I don't know, maybe over here is good. Nah, that doesn't look quite right. I mean, it's not as visually interesting. As far as this angle goes, but it does have better sunlight to it. Hey, we're tracing details. Hey, this is tracing. Hey, we're tracing pieces of the master. This is tracing masterpieces. Following the lines. We're following the details in our world, tracing them. We're trying to find answers to who we are. We're trying to create this way of expressing ourselves by understanding ourselves further. Whatever. Hey, this is tracing masterpieces. We're tracing the details. Hey, this is tracing masterpieces. Oh, I should probably be this way. Hey, this is tracing masterpieces. We're tracing the pieces of the master. In this world, there are many details, many lines, shapes, patterns that we can find by looking and following the lines, following the details. It brings us closer to this master. Like this bridge is a master of all these different pieces that construct it together, hold it as one cohesive unit. It creates this way of expressing something, this identity, just like we have our bodies and these different pieces that construct it and build it up to become what we are and develop this experience that we have, right? All the different pieces matter, and you could trace them and find where it leads, basically. Leads to something greater, right? This greater picture that we're trying to develop. So I'm going to look at the world around here and try and find interesting stuff that I can collect, and we'll take it back and look at it more closely, look at the patterns and details and draw it, illustrate it in some way, some expressive way that kind of binds us to it, kind of brings it along in our mind in some imaginative way, recreates it, makes it new again in some new life, adds life to this experience that we have. Hey, this is tracing masterpieces, and we're tracing pieces of the master basically, and I'm here at this location at the Des Plaines River looking for different patterns, different things that I could collect, small things that I can bring back and look closely at to find interesting textures, interesting lines and shapes, and become inspired by it, okay? And then I'll illustrate it in some way and kind of recreate it, recreate the life in some new imaginative way, right? Some visual way, okay? This is tracing masterpieces. Okay, so I tried, this is a new format that we're trying.